Welcome back, everyone. So, you probably have heard of Hamza. He's on YouTube, and his philosophy about self improvement is quite extreme. And he always repeats that if you know something is bad, you shouldn't do it, even if it's a little bit. Like, if you know something is bad, you shouldn't even do it a little bit. Because he always talks about how we're not able to control ourselves. If you try to do it a little bit, you will end up doing more because you're not going to be able to control yourself. And because of that, if you do this bad thing, well, your focus is going to decrease, your productivity is going to decrease. And you know what? When I heard him say that, I was like, I'm different. I was like, I'm different, and yeah, I'm gonna be able to control myself, and like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like I'm gonna be able to control myself, right? And instead of listening to him and actually learn from the mistakes of other people, like someone smart would do, no, I was a dumbass, and I decided to learn on my own mistakes. And yeah, I realize now that he was right. He was right. After trying for months and experimenting, I realized that he was right. Like he always gives an example of video games. Like I don't play video games, but I used to, right? But he always gives this really good example about video games. He always says that people say, "Oh, I'm just gonna play like 1 hour of video games," but that person will end up playing 2 hours or even 3 hours, right? Like the chances that the person is gonna control themselves pretty low. But look, even if you're able to control yourself, right? You say I'm gonna play 1 hour per day and that's it, and you do that. You're able to only stick to 1 hour. There's still a lot of problems associated with that because after playing video games, right, this really stimulating like activity, you're not going to be productive afterwards. Like you're not going to be productive afterwards, and even the next day you're not going to be productive. Like have you ever tried, like people my age, right, they go to school, whatever, they don't understand why they cannot do their homework or concentrate on their homework. Well, look, you just watched your favorite show on Netflix, or you played video games, like this high stimulated thing, and now you're trying to do your homework, which is, let's say, a little more boring, right? There's no way you're going to be able to concentrate. You're not going to be able to concentrate. Like Andrew Huberman talks about this. When you try to, let me repeat that. Andrew Huberman always talks about the importance of not indulge in activities that you don't need to give effort to get a dopamine rush. He always says that you shouldn't indulge in activities that gives you a dopamine rush and you don't have to do any effort. However, he says that the inverse is true. When you indulge in activities when you have to give effort and you get a dopamine rush, this is good for you. This is healthy and good for you. So coming back to the video games, there's no effort. Like you just sit down on your couch, you turn on the TV. Maybe the the hardest thing is to, like, I don't know, open the TV, something like that. That's it. There's no effort, and now you're playing video games and you get stimulated and you get this dopamine rush. This is really bad for you because afterwards it's going to be hard to do other things that are actually productive. However, for example, you want to go out with your friends. You want to go out with your friends, you need to plan. First, yeah, you need to plan. You need to get yourself prepared. You need to go to that place, you need to walk, you need to drive. Look, there's effort associated with that. And then once you're there, yeah, you're having fun and you get this dopamine rush. But again, effort. You put effort into getting that dopamine rush of having fun with your friends. So I'm not saying do not have fun because it's going to affect your productivity. No, I'm saying have fun, but have fun in things when you need to initially do effort to get that dopamine rush. Not something like playing video games. There's no effort associated with that. Like another example, working out. You need to put effort into working out, but then you get a dopamine rush after the workout because you're proud of yourself, you're happy. But again, you you put effort, right? Another example. Another example is like relating to me, right? This is a personal example, right? I always usually what I do, okay, is I don't respond to every single message. What I do, I just wait until all the message accumulates and I respond after like 12 hours or 1 day, right? So I just respond like all at once to every message. But sometimes I do not wait. For example, I'm bored or I'm doing something that is hard. Like I'm trying to like record a video, not record a video, but I'm trying to like find a topic I'm gonna talk about in the video, and it's quite hard. You have to think, and then I'm like, oh, let me just respond to one message, and then I go on my phone and I respond to one message, then I respond to a second message, and now I'm scrolling on Instagram for no reason. It just started by me wanting to respond to one message instead of waiting like I usually do to respond to all the messages. No, I decided to respond to one message, and now I respond to a second one, and now I'm scrolling on Instagram. And then not only I'm wasting time, I'm also like affecting my focus because now when I finally drop my phone and I try to focus back on this task that I was doing before, it takes me time before being able to refocus and be in this like flow state, right? So not good. And another example is junk food, processed food. Like you think that just eating like one ice cream, you shouldn't do it. You know that this food is bad for you. You know that it gives you brain fog afterwards. It spike your insulin, but you're like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna eat a little bit of ice cream. You eat a little bit of ice cream, and now you're like, oh well, I already ate this ice cream, so let me just get more, right? It's not gonna do anything bad. I already ate ice cream. Let me get some more. Now you get more. After ice cream, someone offers you like a donut, and you're like, oh well, I ate ice cream. Why not just eat the donut, right? It became my cheat day, right? And now you just overeat, and because you overeat, now you have brain fog. You feel tired, and you don't feel like working out anymore, so you skip your workout. And now because you skip your workout, you're like, oh, what I'm gonna do instead? Let me just relax. Let me just watch Netflix. Let me just waste my time on TikTok. Like the problem itself is not the ice cream. Well, it is a problem, but the problem itself is not you eating this a little bit of ice cream. The problem is you indulging in your impulses. Because if you indulge in this one thing, which is just eating the ice cream knowing that you shouldn't do it, you will indulge in other impulses. Because you'll tell yourself, oh, I already indulged in this bad behavior. Oh, at this point, like, let me just have a rest day and indulge in other bad behaviors. And again, because you indulge in bad behavior throughout your day, the next day it's going to be hard to do things that requires effort because you got this dopamine. Again, you got this dopamine without doing effort by indulging in those bad things like playing video games, and then the next day It's hard for you to do things that require effort. It's hard. So again, you will do things that get you a dopamine rush without you actually making an effort. Not good. And just quickly about sugar, because we're talking about ice cream. Do you realize that when you eat something like processed food that is really sugary, like a cake or donut, ice cream, whatever, it makes you want to eat more. It makes you want to eat more. It tricks your brain into thinking that you want to eat more. Like, why do you think that in restaurants they put they give you free bread before you order? They give you free bread. Why do they do that? Why do you think they would give you free bread? It's not because they like you or they love you. No, no. The bread, even you might not realize it, but when you eat the bread, it turns into sugar right away in your mouth, and this makes you want to eat more. And if you want to eat more because you ate the bread, you're gonna order more, which again makes them more money. That's just quickly, just a thing you can think about, right? And yes, like one bad thing will lead to another bad thing, and look, it always starts small. Your days do not. Let me restart that. Your days that you're not being productive, or the days when you go to sleep and you're not proud of yourself because you indulge in bad behavior and you weren't productive, they do not start because you did something really bad in the beginning of the day. No, they started because you made an exception. Like in the beginning of the day, something that you usually do and you stick to, like a routine, you decide to like skip it. Like a small thing, like no, like just not looking at your phone the first the just not looking at your phone when you wake up first thing in the morning. You always not look at your phone when you wake up in the morning, but this day you decide to look at your phone when you woke up. It's small, right? But then it has a compound effect, and it just builds. You do this one small thing, you make an exception, then you make another exception. Now you're just doing one bad thing after the other, and in the end you're starting doing like really bad thing because you're like, oh, I did all those small bad things, why not do this really bad thing at the end of the day? Like just play video games for like 3 or 4 hours. This is what happens. This is what happens. And look, how do fires starts, right? How do you get big fires? It's a small flame. It starts with a small thing, but then it just compounds and you get a big fire. Same things with the bad habits. And look, I tried to have this balanced life, this like you living a balanced life and trying to do everything 50-50. It does not work. It does not work. Like even if you're able again to control yourself, it's still not going to work. It's not going to work long term. Yeah, you might be able to do it for 2 days, 3 days, maybe a week, trying to live this balanced life. But long term, you're not going to be able to keep it. Because look, you, sometimes you're not going to feel like it. Like you're going to be in a bad mood, and look, try to make a good decision when you're in a bad mood, or when you're sad, or when you're tired. It's not going to work, right? You're going to always choose the wrong decision. So you got to be extreme. You got to be extreme if you want to be successful long term and improve and actually achieve something in your life, whatever it might be, working out, intellectually, business, whatever. You need to be extreme about it. That's the only way you're going to succeed. And again, Thank you, Hamza. Thank you, Hamza, for proving me that you were right all along. So, all right, peace out, and I will see you in the next video.